Okay, so it's Janice. I'm back again with project number 2. Now this one is this beautiful card. Where is the sample one? Yeah, here's the sample one. And this one says cherished friend. So I like this sort of look, but it's got white embossing on it like the notebook, but just dealt with in a different way. So just got to make sure that you're getting the use out of your bits and pieces here. If you've bought white embossing powder, then I want to make sure you use it. And this gorgeous crinkled seam binding ribbon is beautiful. So in the pack you've got enough for 2 cards. So you've got 2 of the tags for the sentiment. You've got some seam binding. You've got two white card bases, 2 Coastal Cabana layers, and 2 white layers. Now it's the white layers and the tag. I will just make up one just now. The tag that we're using just now. So I'm going to just pop this back in the bag because I get in a mess otherwise. So I don't know if you've had a go at the notebook one or which way you're going to work your way through this kit. It's entirely up to yourself. So, but I thought I'm doing the 2 embossing projects first, and then probably I'm doing like the most difficult first and then going back to the easy ones. But hey, that's me for you. Right, so let's just make a space and see where we go. So we're going to stamp on this and we're going to stamp on the white. So first of all we'll do this, and we'll need our white embossing powder, our Versamark ink, and our embossing buddy. I've just put this into some empty beauty cream tub just to keep it. It probably comes in a wee bag and it's leaking everywhere. I don't know why. Never done that before. But anyway, you want it over your card, both bit cards. We don't want a stamp. Okay, so that's, spread that over. Don't worry about the powder, it just bangs off when you're finished. When you've finished your project, if it's visible. It usually isn't visible. Right, I have given you a gift in your kit of finger daubers as well. So get mine out ready. That was my little product gift to you because I had used it in these projects. Right, so stamps. I need that flower again. I definitely used the leaf this time. So it's the flower and that leaf. And the sentiment on this one is cherished friend. And you know, all you ladies that are buying my kits, you are becoming my cherished friends. If you weren't already my cherished friend before I sold this to you. Right, so again, I'm using a lot of blocks, but if you've only got one block, just change each time. So this one, the sentiment one, I'm going to stamp on here. Don't know what I've got on there. I've spilled something because I'm being careless, but that's me. Right. So on this one, I just want to stamp this on here. Cherished friend. I needed my nail there. I don't know what I've marked the card with, but I'm just going to go ahead with it. That's that out the way. And then kind of give myself an idea here that that's going to go around there. So I'm going to sort of stamp kind of from there out. So I actually think if I do, what I did there was a flower and a leaf kind of coming about there. So ink up my clear ink. This ink's actually good for making it look like you've watermark stamped on your card. I'll show you that. So if you just say you want to just make a pattern on this card, it won't. I'll do it in the middle because it won't show because I'm layering it up. But just to give you a clue, maybe put it around the right way so you can see it. So it's kind of like tone on tone. Well, it is tone on tone. It's like a watermark. And that'll dry like that. So that's actually quite a nice stamping technique. Just takes a bit longer to dry than the other ink. So you could set that aside. You don't need to emboss with this ink. You can do that. I need my white bit though. Go back to what we were doing. I digress, but that's me. It's about halfway along that one, maybe about like that, and then I'm just using this as a guide. I probably should have kept the other one, so maybe that's just to give me a clue where we're going. And then just have a think about where you're placing. If you look back to my email where I advertised this, you would see the original. I did mean to put photographs in your kits. It's just been a terrible time lately. There's just a lot been going on, and I've just recently got my IT equipment to do my day job. I'm just taking a bit of getting my head around being back working again. I had 12 weeks to do my Stampin' Up full time, and now I've got to share it. But I've been lucky. So, but I didn't want, I knew that I hadn't got everything done, like photos. I can say, I'll actually send you all the photos of the finished projects to help you, just to give you a guide. So that's, I'll email them to you or send them in a message electronically. So that's that and this. So now I'm going to add the powder, but that's going to sit over the top. You can't see it that well just now, but if I bring in my scrap of paper, and put that and that on there, and then get my powder again. You keep it on the scrap of paper with the fold in, it just means you can put it back together again, back in the tub easy. So again, I'm looking just to see if there's any stray bits. Give it a tap, get any extra bits off, and there's just a bit here. I don't want, you can barely see that, but once I heat that and show you the next bit, you will see it fine. And then just gather it into the middle of your paper and tilt it back into your tub. And then you've got plenty more. Screw the lid tight because there's a chance you'll knock it over if you don't. Ask me how I know that. Right, so now let's just heat the heat tool back up. Let it get quite hot. Give it, you know, a minute or two to heat up. Because the hotter it is, the quicker it melts the plastic, and the hotter, the quicker you do it, the less chance of warping your paper. It's not so bad with these projects because that's why I've layered them onto a coloured mat, because that'll help hold it straight again. As soon as you see it melt, you just move it and you stop. You don't keep it on over, because all you'll do is burn your paper. I've made a bumful in this sheet, but we'll be alright. Right, so that's them. That's my tag. And my embossing done. So what I did then was I took one of my little finger daubers. And the Coastal Cabana ink, which if you don't have Coastal Cabana, just whatever colour you've got that's close to it will work. You can change the colours altogether to what I've given you. It was just to get you a start. Right, so I've inked up my dauber from the ink. I'm going to take the worst of it off because I don't want any sudden big blobbies of colour, so take some of it off onto my scrap paper. These grids actually are great for protecting your work surface. So basically all I'm going to do now is in circular motions just over the actual images that I've embossed. Not going, obviously just going over the edges of them a bit, but not too far out. And you'll see they're suddenly coming to life. You add more ink, but do just dab it off, because like they say, you can add more but you can't take it off once you've put it on your paper. You're kind of committed. Just wee circles. Until you get the look that you're after. But you see that brings up, I just feel that we need a bit more colour here, and I've blobbed it out too far. I really should listen to my own advice, shouldn't I? So we'll just even it up a bit. Take some of the rest out a bit further and then it won't look too dodgy. Right, and then on the tag what I did was I took some ink on here and I flicked it around the edge. Just finishes it off a wee bit and gives it a bit more depth of colour. That's all the inking I did. Right, I hate this bobble on my paper, it's annoying me, but never mind, let's just make this up. So I'm going to take my wet glue and on the back of this just put a thin line around. Not always what I achieve, but that's what my intention is. I've got some embossing powder on there somehow. and then I'm going to pop that onto the layer, which is 4mm larger on both dimensions. So just line it up. See that come down a wee bit? Oh, Janice, come on. That's why I use wet glue, so I can get it how I want it. And then just, and again, just turn it over and give it a good old rub. It's just these little things that make the difference. Give it a more professional look. But it is handmade, it's not factory made. So then glue this up and onto your card base. Oops. Get it where you want it to be. Turn it over now. Don't move it about like that. Take that hand and hold it firmly so that it's not going to slide around, because if it slips around, it'll move. You know, your layers will move. So there's that. And then I have given you a sheet of dimensionals in your kit. So you need, well, I put 3, I think. 2 and 3. And when you come to the end of a sheet of dimensionals, don't throw these edge bits away. They're handy as well for projects. So I've put dimensionals on there. Just take the backs off. Whoops. And then just decide exactly where you want your, maybe a bit further up so that you get all the leaves showing. So again, it just depends on how you made your recomposition, but that's fine, I'm happy with that. And then just a bit of embellishment. I'm going to put a bit of ribbon on and some of these beautiful, beautiful diamantes that I put in your kit as well. Now I'm looking for a pointy tool. Where is my, where's my your pick tool? Here it is, right in front of me. I find this handy for lifting gems. So I have a wee kind of trademark, especially for the cards that I sell. I actually think that that's a wee bit dodgy, that one. That's why I kept that one, so you didn't get it. There's 3 sizes on here, so I put one of each size in a wee row here. And a little one. And then we put 3 little ones to accent our picture. So one, kind of just make a kind of triangle, because it draws your eye. Put one there, and that'll be fine. And then I want a bow. Now I am rubbish at tying bows, I'll kid you not. So I have this tool, which my very good friend, that was my neighbour in Crieff, I've made a mess on here too. I seem to have got glue or something on it. That will come off later, I'll just leave it there just now. I think I had, do you know what, I had all glue that I'd picked off and it was on the end of this. I really should be more careful. There you go, that picked it up, that's better. Right, so this is the crush seam binding, and I am going to wrap it round here. So you could do this with a fork. There's lots of ways, and some of you can do it because you learned to tie bows when you were at school, like with bunny ears and things. I've just passed me by completely. I'm just never been able to do it. I can at a push, but if I'm doing it on a video, I'm going to make a mess of it. And a really good friend that I had was my neighbour when I lived in Crieff in Perthshire. She gave me this. It's ancient. It was Glitter Girls or something. But look, there you go. There's hundreds and hundreds of YouTube videos out there for tying bows. I've got my bow maker. Life's too short for me to decide to try and learn to tie bows. I've tried. Many people have tried to teach me and given up. So trim the ends of your bow how you want it, and then I'm just going to use a glue dot, or you could use a dimensional. In fact, I've got glue dots here. But whatever you've got, I don't think you all have glue dots, but if you've not all got glue dot, you could use, just so that if you haven't, I can show you another way to stick this on. Just cut one of these in half and pop it on the back of your bow, and that'll stick on fine with that. There you go. Voila. Thanks for your patience with me. So there's the two cards. They're the one that I advertised. I actually think I used my dauber at, I'll just move the ribbon a bit. I used it around the word as well. Another thing, if the colour from your, this is water-based ink, it usually it's repelled it, but what you can do, when I find it, is you can use one of these microfiber cloths and just polish it up a wee bit, and that takes the ink off and brightens up the white bit for you. So there you go. I've got another wee trick I could show you actually. You know that you have got, those of you who have bought alcohol markers to add on to your kit, is you can colour this ribbon with your alcohol markers. Any of the white ribbons. Take the alcohol marker, and sometimes I do it on a block. In fact, the long block, that's better. You can do it on that. So a wee bonus tip for you. So you put your ribbon on there and take the brush end of your... The reason I do it on the block is any ink that goes through the ribbon will soak back into it as well. You see? So if you only have white ribbon, if you don't need to buy every single ribbon to match your colours, if you've got some alcohol pens, you can make your ribbon match. So you can soak up what's lying there anyway. It's dry already because it's alcohol, so there's a wee tip. Cheap at half the price. Anyway, I'm going to go now. I'm probably going to go and get a cuppa, and I'll come back in a little while and do the other two videos for you. So there you go. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you. See you all soon. Bye bye.